Hi guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today I'm going to be starting a series of Python video tutorials, and today's obviously the first lesson where we're going to be talking about variables and basic functions. Okay, so I would suggest using REPL.it to learn how to code in Python because it's just a nice website with easy to use code and terminals. So these are the quick instructions to sign up. You can pause the video really quickly, make an account, and you should just know that this is a screen that you will get when you create a new project. On the left over here is where you're going to write your code, and then there will be a run button up here. When you press it, you'll see the output of your code in the terminal. Okay, so I'm on the home screen of REPL. I'm just going to press on Create with REPL. I'm going to put on Python and title it Lesson 1 and create it. Okay, so first thing we're going to be talking about is the different types of variables. So there are four major types of variables that you'll need to know. The first is integer, which is basically just a whole number, for example, 0, 1, -10, all of those count. Then a float or a double is called a decimal number, with just basically any number with decimal points. So it doesn't have to be a whole number necessarily. It can have any amount of decimal points after the decimal point. Okay, and then the third type is string, which is words, letters, and numbers inside of quotes. So it doesn't matter what it is, as long as it's inside of quotes. So I could put just one word, hello, I could put a sentence, like my name is Ruhi, or I could put a number, like 1, as long as it's inside of quotes. Okay, and then the last type of variable is a Boolean, which is a true or false statement. So the only two values that you can store in a Boolean are true or false. And Booleans will typically ask a question, for example, is raining? So let's practice how to create variables. So if you want to create an integer variable, it's very easy. You just write the name of your variable, so let's call it num in this case, write an equal sign, which is an assignment operator, and then write any numbers. So let's say 6. And then that is my entire line. Now I have a variable called num, which holds the value 6. If I want to create a string, I can write the name of my variable. Let's name it name equals, and then in quotes, let's put Ruhi. Okay, so now let's do a little bit of practice for variables. So you guys know the four types of variables: integer, string, float, or Boolean. So all 7 of these are one of those 4. So pause the video, write down what type of variable you think each one is, and then unpause the video to see the answers. Okay, so here are your answers. The first one is string because it's in quotes, then integer because whole number, string because it's in quotes, integer because it's a whole number, float because there's a decimal point, string because it's in quotes, and Boolean because it's just true with no quotes. Okay, now we're going to go over 2 basic functions and 1 just coding norm. So first, the print statement. So print statements are used to output something to this terminal over here. So in this case, let's say I want to print out a word like hello world. That's just a standard coding thing. So if I run this over here, you'll see hello world, right? That's just the print statement. Now let's say I want to print out the value that my variable is holding. So notice how over here I put it in quotes because that's if you want these exact words to show up in the terminal, you have to put quotes around it. But if I want to print out a variable, then I just write the name of the variable without any quotes. So now if I say print num, it's going to print out 6 because 6 is the value inside of num. So if I run it, it'll just print 6. The second basic function is input. So input is taking user input and then by asking the user a question. So for example, if I say, what's your name? The user will type in a name and then I can store that in a variable and then output it somewhere. So for example, let's say name equals input in parentheses, what is your name? Okay, so now whatever the user answers to this question is going to be stored in the variable name. So now if I print out name, then whatever the user inputted or answered is going to be what's printed out. So if I And you can see it's over here. It's asking me what is your name. I'm going to write my name, let's say Nancy. And if I press enter, it's going to print Nancy, right? It just printed Nancy because I said print name, meaning print whatever my user just said. Okay, so the last thing we're going to be talking about today is commenting. You want the code to still be in your file. You just don't want it to be running anymore. So right now I have all these lines of code constantly running, which is why I'm getting all of these lines of output. But let's say I only want these 2 lines of code to run. Then I'm gonna comment out all of this. So to comment multiple lines of code, I'm gonna put 3 quotes around the entire section. So I'm gonna put 1, 2, 3, delete the extra 3. And then after the section that I want to comment, I'm gonna put another 3 quotes. And then that means that none of this code is gonna run and only this code is gonna run. So now let's say I only want to comment out this line, meaning that's just 1 line. I don't have to put the entire 3 quotes. I can just put a hashtag at the beginning of my line and that'll comment it out and this code will not run. So that's one purpose of commenting, to just still have the code there, but just not run it. Another purpose of commenting is that maybe you want to remind yourself what a line of code is doing. So for example, if in the future I don't want to forget what line 8 is doing, at the end of the line, I'll put a comment and just say input of name. Okay, so let's try this example out. So we have to write a program which asks the user for their age and then prints out you are blank years old. And then the blank should, of course, be the age that they inputted. Okay, so let's try this out. So first I'm going to store the user input in a variable called age, and then ask the user a question. What is your age? Now, with the variable age that now holds the value of the user input, I'm going to print you are, put a comma to add in the value of the variable, years old. So now if I run this, it's going to ask me what is your age. I'll put maybe 5, and then it's going to say you are 5 years old, which is exactly what I asked for. So that's this entire practice problem complete. Thank you guys so much for watching today's video. I hope you guys learned something new about Python. If you liked the video, drop a like down below and subscribe to my channel for more videos. Thank you. Bye.